All right, my next guest is one of the GOP holdouts who eventually came around on the bill, and he got our attention with his social media updates throughout this process.
I've been summoned by the president, so we'll see how this goes. I'll give y'all an update when we get out. The president was wonderful, as always, informative, funny. Told me he liked seeing me on TV, which is kind of cool. Things are falling into place, so we'll be back here in, 2 hours?
Tennessee Republican Congressman Tim Burchett joins us now. Congressman, thanks for being with us here today. Enjoyed your updates, took us behind the curtain there. Well, almost, Congressman, behind the curtain. Took us on the steps up to and coming out of whatever happened behind the curtain. What can you tell us about these meetings with the president and how it helped change your vote?
Well, the President Trump was incredibly generous with his time, and so is Vice President J.D. Vance. So people don't bring him up, but he is a good closer. You know, there was 14 of us in the room at one time, and the president was just rapid fire taking questions from all of us, me included. And the thing you got to remember about President Trump is that you don't see with a lot of executives and people and big hitters, their egos overplay their hand. And it's the exact opposite with Trump. If he doesn't know the dadgum answer, you know what? He's going to ask somebody in the room that's there. He has the people there. So it's not a thing where you got to come back, well, we'll talk to you tomorrow, and then they never get back to you and kind of blow you off. Trump takes every question serious. And I'm always amazed, though, when I've met with President Trump, is just his ability to comprehend an issue and know the facts. And, you know, I've had a lot of people in this town lie to me, but Donald J. Trump is not one of them. Neither is J.D. Vance. They both straight shooters and tell me the truth. My daddy was an old World War II Marine. My mama flew an airplane during the Second World War, so I'm kind of partial to that straight talk, and I got it yesterday, and I got my answers. And, you know, another thing I want to say, too, a lot of people degrade the president about his language and how he cusses people and gets in their face. I've met with President Trump multiple times. I think I talked to him 3 or 4 times yesterday. Never raised his voice, never cussed me, never degraded me. He was informed, he got to the point, and that's why he's the world leader he is, and you can't beat him. You can't beat him with a stick, brother.
That's really interesting color on what those meetings were like behind the scenes, because he was trying to move you, Congressman, move you from a no to a yes. You weren't alone. You and I have talked at quite length on Will Cain Country. I know you're very concerned about debt and deficit, and I know that was a concern of yours. As it was, for example, with Congressman Chip Roy, who was with us yesterday and told me he was a no vote at that time. Now, since that time, he posted on X that he got assurances in this meeting. So can you tell me anything about that? What was said? What assurances were made that made you and, for example, Congressman Roy, move to a yes?
We're going down a rat hole with this so-called renewable or environmentally sound energy, this wind and solar. About 98% of wind power is made in China. The president is very informed on that, and you know, literally, I mean, he told me one time, he said, Tim, more can come out of a hole out of the ground the size of both your fists than you'll ever get from one of those dadgum windmills. He never says dadgum, I say dadgum. It's cheaper than cussing at my house. I don't have to put another dollar in the swear jar, but I got an IOU, a swear jar full of IOUs. But no, the issue was made pretty clear on things like that and where we were headed, and that investment is not repaying us. There's never been a major find about solar energy in over 20 years. And Trump realizes that, and he knows that it's a pig in a poke. It's throwing money down a dadgum rat hole is what it is. And he knows that what do we got in this country? We've got oil, we've got gas, we've got coal, and that's not a dirty word to him. And I'm very glad, because a lot of Americans make their livings off of coal, and we can produce it and we can get it out of the ground. God put it there, dadgummit, we ought to get it out. And also nuclear. I'm not afraid of nuclear. Right. It's the safest energy in the world. Oak Ridge National Laboratory backs up to my house. Tennessee Valley Authority. Small nuclear reactors. He's got Lee Zeldin in his corner at the EPA that's permitting these things. In the past, it takes 6 to 8 years to get some of these refineries and plants. Lee's doing it in just a matter of days. Man, he's got the A-team on there. And yeah, I'm worried about spending. I'm always, the Pentagon, the war pimps over there, I'm not a fan of that. Old men make decisions and young men die. I've got an 18-year-old daughter. I do not want to see her in another war. But you know what? Dadgummit, Trump, he delivered. Iran, we're not putting boots on the war. If Joe Biden was in the office right now, we'd be sending troops over there.
I understand a little more about the assurances that made you a yes vote when it comes to the Green New Deal, the Green New Scam. But allow me, I got to go. I'm way over time. But I do want to play Sherlock Holmes for just one moment. You brought up the vice president. The vice president posted this on X, Congressman. He said a GOP congressman just texted me. I was undecided on the bill, but then I watched Hakeem Jeffries perform, and now I'm a firm yes. So I read that, Congressman, and then I read this from you on X. I wasn't really sure how to vote, but after watching Hakeem for 30 seconds, I'm firmly a yes. Just playing a little detective here, you might be the congressman texting the vice president?
I don't know about all that, brother. I appreciate it. I try not to talk too much about my private conversations with either one.
They're very similar, Congressman. They're very similar.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing that vice president Pennsylvania Avenue, but I'm trying to get him down to a UT football game before we do that. So,
it's a long way to Austin.
A lot of people that are after me on it. Well,
it's a long way to Austin.
No. Hey, there wouldn't be a Tennessee, baby, or Tennessee Orange. That's what Davy Crockett.
I thought you said UT.
He got beat for. I did, the real UT, and there wouldn't be any of that if it wasn't. Y'all be speaking Mexican, Spanish down there. Look, Davy Crockett got beat for Congress. He said, you can all go to hell. As for me, I'm going to Texas. And he ends up getting killed, but he did get a Disney special out of the deal, so it kind of evens out, I guess.
No, I will tell you on behalf of all Texans, we all appreciate those volunteers from Tennessee. All right, Congressman Burchett, we also appreciate your time. Thank you. Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.